What is up, everybody? It is Thursday night. Grab yourself something cold, kick your feet up. It's time to do a little doc talk. Welcome back, everybody. We've got a couple special guests coming into the house tonight for a little Jackson Kayak Doc Talk. Let's bring in the tonight's new is it new and improved panel? You've got
Yes.
new and improved panel. For
Yep.
tonight, got a first timer and a repeat offender. So we'll start with Jamie Broad and let him introduce yourself, tell people who you are, where you're from, just all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, get into it. I grew up East Texas, live in Bossier City, Louisiana. So people come see me quite a bit for some of the lakes around here. I started kayak fishing 2016, I think, tournament wise, and been hitting it all over ever since. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've been with Jackson now for this is my fourth year, I think. I'm going on. Yeah. So it's been interesting. I mean, I've met interesting people like Adam. You remember the phone call when Adam started hitting tournaments around here. It was like I called him. Was like, "Who are you?"
Your first 5 words to me are, "Who the F are you?"
Hey, but we're still good friends.
Oh, I know. I was cracking up.
Everybody's got to
Yeah.
start somewhere.
You're just
You're talking
mad because I just beat you.
No, I didn't fish the first two tournaments that you actually did well in. The Northeast Texas on
Right.
Rayburn, you came in second, I think.
Second behind Taft. That was for the Classic, and then Merball.
Yes, yeah, and that's what I was like. Okay, that's
You
when I
called
made
me
the phone
after
call.
You called me after KBF on Caddo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes. Very. It's been the kayak world is once you get into it and you meet the people that have been around for a while, and like with Adam when we met, he was just getting into it. I mean, it's really cool. Everybody's all on the same level. You get your little click and it goes.
Yeah,
It works.
wow.
It really is.
Very much so. Adam, reintroduce yourself.
Sorry, I had to move.
I'm getting
Adam
attacked.
Petrone. Grew up in actually Oregon, which, not known for its bass fishing at all. So got a bass fishing scene for the kayak. Bought the first one in 2012. Just a simple Bass Pro kayak, just hitting the lakes and rivers in Kentucky and Tennessee. And then got into it in 2019. Fished one national event, took seventh up in Lacrosse, and been stuck doing it ever since. I've been with Jackson now for my second, about 2.5 years.
There you go.
It has
There you
been
go.
that long.
So the rules for Doc Talk, so you guys know the rules, because we showed up 38 seconds till time to go live, so we didn't explain the rules to either one of you. Rules are for Doc Talk that you can ask each other questions. There's no boundaries. Well, there is boundaries. Keep it clean.
Oh, you got the wrong two people on this one.
That's okay. That's okay. Friendly banter is what Doc talks about. The audience is also encouraged to ask any and all questions that they'd like to ask from these guys. Like I said, ask each other questions. It's all open and fair game here tonight on Doc Talk. So, with that being said, let's talk a little kayak fishing. what do you guys got going on? 2023 is actually up and underway now. We've had the first tournaments for the kayak season have already taken place. So, what do you guys got going? What's in the hopper for you guys? Where are you going to be fishing?
Go ahead, Jamie.
Adam? Oh,
Not
well,
all at once now.
I know, right? Well, I know Adam, he just hit Florida, which I had to miss out on that one. I'm trying to save up. I mean, there's so many different series now. I mean, between Hobie, Bassmaster, KBF, it's all over the place. You have to decide on whether you're going to focus on one series and travel all over the country, or are you going to just pick what's local? For me this year, I'm going to pick what's local. I'm going to fish everybody's. I've got Hobie coming up next month on Caddo and Lake Bistineau. I've got the All-American in March as well on Lake of the Pines. It's going to run in consecutive with the Northeast Texas event, so that'll be a good one. We're expecting well over 100 anglers at that event. So I don't know where Hobie's at. I think they're at 200 plus now, Adam.
They got to be getting close. I think AJ posted they had like 42 slots left or something like that.
Yeah, it's not much. Not for that lake. And that time of year is going to be good.
It'll fill up. It's March on Caddo and Bistineau. Like, come on.
Yeah. And then I've got after that, we're going to do the Hobie on Rayburn, All-American in Arkansas on Conway. That's going to be a good event. I think I'm going to go to Kansas for one. What do we have in La Crosse, Adam? There's two events or one event this year.
I think Bassmasters is La Crosse.
Yeah, in July. That's going to be a good one. So it's going to be a good season for us.
Yeah, sounds like it. But yeah, I would say that. Do you guys anticipate that the tournaments will sell out all season like they did last year? You think it's going to kind of maybe level off with that increased price that some of them have put out there?
I think it's going to drop. They're not going to fill up.
I think they'll be close. It'll all depend on where they're going, what lakes you fish.
People are I think they're gonna play it a little safer. It's not that there's anything against Hobie or anything, but I think it's just the fact that they've increased. They're not giving refunds like they were, so there's a set time frame with it. So I mean, it's that, and then with all the other schedules, people are gonna just hold off.
I can see that 100%. I think and that guy that's kind of holding out, waiting, he's going to wait till the last possible second to sign up if he can, just because he's not 100 in the game if he's going to be able to make it. So I think you'll see a lot of that.
Oh, that's it. You have to play it safe at this point because I mean you never know what's going to happen, and I mean that's a lot of money on the line.
Yeah, couple $100 for sure. So. Furthest traveling this year, what do you got? What are you going to look at, Adam?
It'll be Florida and La Crosse. Yep. My first national tournament was La Crosse, so I got to go back there with the blast.
You're coming here first.
Yep, I'll head down to Harris Chain next weekend, and then the next one will be down there at Caddo.
Yeah, and La Crosse, I've always heard good things about that, and I've heard there's get chewed up by an angry beaver.
It's just fun.
Yeah,
just get back in the backwater. It's good.
And there's plenty of access at La Crosse as well, from my understanding. I've never been. It's actually one of my bucket list places, not because of big fish, but just because who doesn't want to go throw a freaking frog for like 8 hours straight?
8 hours. Me and Dwayne Taft, the first year I went to La Crosse, we threw a frog for 3 days solid. Never picked up another bait.
2019.
And yes. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, I met you guys at a boat ramp.
Yep.
These guys.
How long have you guys been married?
2 years.
2 years. Going on 2 years. Happy anniversary, fellers.
We have dueling English bulldogs. I mean,
There
we
you
go
go.
back. Yeah, if go to our Facebook pages, we got Squishy Face 2023.
Squishy face 2020. I like it, guys. I like it. It's hard to beat the love of a good old fashioned bulldog. They're the best. And they
Mine's
talk.
already in bed for the night. It's sleeping.
Now the real question is, does your guys' bulldog talk to you like my bulldog used to talk to me? Just sit there and just roar, 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 constantly.
Not from the front
Not
of its mouth.
no, that's my thing. It's like
Yeah, mine's pretty quiet.
You guys are
my
welcome. Ours talked to us constantly. If she didn't like what I was telling her, I tell her to go to bed and she'd back talk every night. So she had a personality all on her own. But so what you guys got going on as far as boats? I know Adam, you just picked up 2 new boats down at the
I
JK
did.
factory.
And
Let's hear about that.
I'm already getting the package. I got a package sitting right back here of Yak Power right now. I just picked up a Jackson Nar and a Take 2. So I'm going to run my Jackson Nar from last year, the Team Red boat, stick with that because it's rigged out. But for the Take 2, I'm actually rigging that one for me and my son. But then I can still transfer all my my NAR stuff over to that one and run it single for big water.
Oh yeah, and
So-
you'll have some fun with that. By the way, I've been meaning to actually send you a message for like a week now since you picked up your boat. The boat covers, you need a bigger one. They're a
For
little
the-
tight on the Take 2.
On the Take 2, I haven't tried it yet. Yep.
It's tight. It's tight. So go up a size for the Take 2. Recommend that
Okay.
highly. It's a little bit of a pull to get the latch snap. It took some trickery to get it all around mine. How about you, Jamie? What are you fishing out of this year?
Bigger lakes, I'm going to go with the NAR, but I have a Cusa X coming.
Ooh, Coosa X. Gotta love
So,
that.
yeah,
It's
so I'm
gonna be a
going to
fun
put
boat.
it is with the Newport, running with the 180, and it should be fun. My first real kayak was a Cusa, so I'm happy to get back into it.
Now, Adam, I know you run a bow mount. Jamie, you're running the Newport. So
Correct.
for folks at home that are this is a good topic actually. Folks at home that are on the fence, we've got 2 different guys that do both ways. So give me some advantages, disadvantages to the bow mount and the stern mount trolling motors for the people at home. Just kind of debate this. Who's right and who's wrong?
Adam, you're up on this one first.
Yeah, so I run the Motor Guide XI3 with the pinpoint GPS. Love the spot lock. And really, I run the Motor Guide because of the style of the way I fish. I like to be deeper. I like to go out offshore. I like to spot lock, find the fish, lock down on them. And then when I want to go shallow, I can just lift the head and still go up in there. But I stand up and fish almost 24/7. For me on the big water, being able to spot lock when I find the school, that's why I run the XI3.
And that makes complete sense. I mean, I feel like if I was going to move towards a motor, I would lean that way. Just like you said, you're able to set up in current, cast it back up into the current, bring it down. It's a natural
And with these new
presentation.
boats, it's not like I'm going 3.2 miles an hour and fully loaded. I'm going anywhere from 4.1 to 4.6, depending on, if you're running a saltwater, which is crazy, or a
Right.
freshwater, it actually can make the boat fast.
So yeah, that's my question. Like when you take off at the ramp and you're sitting there and you've got a guy like Jamie beside you and he's got the stern mount trolling motor, the Newport, are you getting left behind or are you keeping up with these guys when they take off?
No, I just engage the Mark IV and blow them out of the water.
No, he gets the bird and he's like, yeah.
So, with the Mark IV and the XI3 pedaling, without getting tired, I can run in the 6s.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So you are utilizing both tools.
Yep.
as
So
you're
the
moving
ones, the
across
only
there.
people I can't beat, which I just got toasted the other day in Florida, was 1103.
Yeah, you can't do it.
It was impossible. I gave up after 2 sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but with the Mark IV, just barely pedaling, 5.5, 5.6, cruising all over the lake. And if you have to get it to get to that spot, you can get up to 6.2 to 6.6.
Very cool. That's good insight. How about you, Jamie? What are some of the benefits of the stern mount, like the Newport or the Torpedo?
I guess, I mean, I ran Torpedo for 2 years, and I've been with Newport now going on 3 years, and it's all I've ever had. And I'm so used to it. I've learned to adjust, to different wind conditions, current conditions. So I've learned to position myself pretty well in somewhat deeper water conditions. But me personally, I don't like the spot lock. Even on my big boat, I have a bass boat, and I think I've used spot lock twice ever. Just don't do it. I don't know. I got power poles.
And the grass. I think you guys can run through grass so much better than a 55 and below pound toy motor.
Well, Adam, you've been down here. It's like, if you run a bow mount, I hit stumps at 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I don't have any worries because we're going to hit stumps. We're going to hit, you hit those ones that come right up on the edge of the boat that you think you're going to flip, but you don't. Yeah. The fun ones, we got them all. But yeah, that's why I've really never run a bow mount. I've been kind of afraid of it actually being here. I have friends that do, but I have
down
never
there
tried
in
it.
East Texas and Louisiana, you definitely back it off about 50% just in case you smack stuff. So
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Doesn't matter what lake you're on.
Oh shoot, Nate. Boys, it happens with a pedal drive all the same. There's always that one that's just a little bit under the water and the sun hits across the water just right, and you just absolutely annihilate that stump running about as fast as you want to go. Seems like every year it happens, at least to me.
I've only ripped off one motor guide with a stump. So it's happened. I ripped it off.
Now, I'm talking about these trolling motors and everything. When you've got them down and deployed, they get clogged up with grass. It just happens. At some point, it's going to happen. How big of a pain is it to either get to the stern or get to the front of the boat and clean this thing out?
So for mine with the NAR, I just jump up and pull it up, reach up and grab it. It doesn't affect me. It will in a couple of years, I guarantee you that. But right now, I can still get up there.
Oh no, I got the fat and lazy one. I pull a cord and I pull it twice, and all the grass. I have a rock guard on mine, so the grass just goes around the outside. So literally, I pull the cord twice, it shakes off, and I just go on about my business.
There's been a few hey buddies on that instance.
Well, that's what friends are for, you know.
Like,
yep. I haven't rigged my XI3 to be able to pull a cord like Gene Jensen has on like his boat, but you could easily do it with the NAR. It doesn't affect me just to reach up there. You can pretty much stand on the front of the NAR with the XI3.
Yep.
Well, some of us can. Some of us would probably sink the front end down.
I'm 230, so I got a 54 amp hour Dakota lithium plus the motor guide sitting right up there, and I can still get up there no problem.
There you go. Now, how much weight do you guys figure you're running in these NARs? As far as your weight capacity and different things that you've got in your boat, what's your total load look like?
Way too much.
Yeah, I would say I overdo it every single time too, but I probably, with the batteries, I bet 110 to 120 pounds extra, so 340 probably.
At least.
Yeah, it depends on the tournament too. If I got 27 pounds of plastic or
plastic.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, people don't understand how fast soft plastic adds up. And I know when I weighed up my stuff for my boat, it was like my soft plastic blew my mind how much it actually weighed out to be.
Yeah, pre-fishing I'm heavy, and then after I, either hopefully figure something out, I'll narrow it down and then have one bag of, one Plano full of what plastics I'm going to use. Take out half my jigs and half my chatterbait. So.
Keep telling yourself that.
I know.
See how far you get.
Usually I have everything.
You're not going anywhere. Yeah. You'll get rid of it for 2 weeks, and then you'll have 10 times more in your boat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you just add 5 more rods because you got the in the boat rod storage. You got 12 out the back and 5 in the. Yeah.
Look like a ham radio operator out here.
That's exactly it.
So Christian's got a question for us here. Battery in the front or the back for your XI3? I placed
In the
it in the
back.
front. No issues there.
So I put the 54 to run Humminbird 360, 2 graphs, all the yak power lights, and every other gadget that's on there. And then I put the 135 in the back. And that gives me perfect balance.
All right, we got another audience question. Rudy. What is your favorite lure to throw this time of year? And that's gonna be a pretty big variation.
Yeah.
Where you at? What area of the country?
Well, Rudy's up north. He's like Delaware paddle sports area.
Ice jig.
Yeah. Shaky head, Ned Rig.
Yeah. If I was down here right now, I went out the other day, was throwing a chatterbait against rock walls on Lake Barkley and was cracking some big ones. So chatterbait's working down here right now.
Yeah.
Caught some on a crankbait, and then you can always catch them on shaky.
How's the water temperature down there at Kentucky Tennessee line looking?
Oh, what was it? If I remember right, it was right at 50 or 51.
You give me hope.
Yours is still running cold.
Ours is. That's a heat wave around here right now. This time of year.
Yeah, it was warmer than I thought it was going to be when I was on the water. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I fished. Was it Sunday? Low 54, 55, but I saw 63.
Oh, nice.
But we have power plant lakes around here, so you got to think. December I fished a lake, 27-degree air temps, and it was 70 degrees water temps, and I was throwing a buzzbait all day and hammering them. So
I'd be okay with that.
Gotta love East Texas.
Yeah.
It could snow tomorrow, though.
Oh yeah. It was 78 here today, and I think tomorrow night it's going to be 32.
Yeah.
Yeah, it dropped here.
Yep.
Big winds are pushing through, but that's okay. It's coming right back from what
it's ripping off Lake Barkley right now. I can hear it outside.
Oh, I can fully imagine. So we talked a little bit about the trolling motors. What effect do these motors, like you got the BOS events that have no motors, and then you got the BASS and you got the KBF events allow motors. Which ones do you guys feel like you are liking better? Do you actually like going to the BOS events where you have the no motor and it's man versus man, or however you want to word that, person versus person?
That's gonna be a good one
for a little bit of that man-to-man competition. Do you feel like that adds to the tournament, or would you just rather have the motor and just go about it that way?
I think for Hobie it would be different if you weren't allowed to pre-fish with motor, because I can run and gun, take 200 amp hour batteries, run 20 miles, find my spots, and then plan my launch and my route that I'm pedaling to keep myself from going 20 miles in a day. So does it make a difference for what I schedule? No. I'm still going to fish Hobies because, Hobie, it's a fun event. 2 days, which I enjoy the 2 days. But after day one, I'm like, okay, why can't we have motor?
Yeah. And that's one thing with the motors. You really do. It changes our whole fishing style of how we even prep to go into it months into advance. I mean, you'll break down a certain area, you'll put limitations on it. You give me a motor, there's no limitations. If I got to go 6 miles to a spot, I'm going 6 miles to a spot. So on some of these events,
worst part is most of us will still do that while pedaling. You're just wore out.
Yeah, that's As a full-time pedal guy, yeah.
Yep.
You'll go as far as you.
I pedaled my first year and a half. I didn't get my first motor until I actually fished. The first time I fished a motor was the 10 house.
Yeah.
And after that, I was never going back.
So let's say a new trail's starting up. What would you like to see? I mean, would you prefer it be a motor trail, or would you, if it was a new trail breaking the ice, or everybody was going to go one way or the other, which way would you rather see?
Honestly, I don't think there should be any limitations other than the motor size. Like, you can't
No.
have like, it, if you got it, use the tools that are out there.
Yeah, and the only thing I have against, I mean, with Hobie and everything, me and AJ are really good friends. I love the Hobie series. But I know a lot of anglers, especially a lot of veteran anglers, that cannot pedal.
Yep.
So they won't participate in the Hobie events because, I mean, they're not going to go into an event like that on that level paddling.
Right.
So
They would lights out, sell out 400 people every time at the end.
Yeah. Because, I mean, a lot of these guys, they run motors and they're good because their knees are shot.
Knees are shot, or elbows or shoulders are shot, one way or the other. Yeah.
Yep.
If it was a legit disability, I think they should allow them to have motors. I have no problems with competing against people with stipulations that effect.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a question. Rudy's got one for you. Well, I'm going to go to Jeremy Baker's here first. Will Jamie ever beat me on Lake of the Pines?
Oh, it's coming next month. Don't worry. Just like every other lake.
I might drive down just to beat you too. So.
Oh, please.
And if you're watching this tonight and you hear some of these questions, it's because the actual Jackson Kayak Fishing team is chiming in to throw a little shade these guys' way. So Rudy is asking here, how many events with motors do you see where anglers placing in the top 10? So do you think it matters having a motor where a person places? I mean, obviously there's been a guy that went around over the past year, done very, very well in the Bassmaster and some Hobie events, and he paddled. I mean, so clearly I don't think it matters. Do you guys?
I don't think it matters either.
Not at all.
I think it might matter. It might matter on the 2-day event a little bit.
Yeah, especially if you're probably paddling.
But really,
no,
because if you found the fish and you're 12 miles away on a Hobie, you're still going to go 12 miles and go fish it.
Oh, 100%.
So
1st of December, I was at Pan Am's in Mexico, and one lady from Mexico City, no motor, no electronics, anything. She ended up 4th against Scott, Guillermo, me. I mean, Josh Stewart, Christine, everybody was there. Cody, and she held her own for 2 days. It doesn't matter. You can figure it out.
Oh, 100%. And, I think there's, even with all the electronics that are around Live Scope, which is, somebody says it's the devil, but I just, there's a lot of people out there throwing shade at Live Scope. I mean, before that, it was side scan, down scan. I mean, it, some people would like us to be out there with the old paper graphs going back and forth, I think. But I still think, and you guys weigh in here, being able just to visually read the water and see what the water's doing sometimes with the winds or current. I mean, you're going to catch fish that way, especially if you're a bank beater. I mean, you don't have to be 3 miles offshore to catch them. I mean, you can go beat the bank and find fish, and, being able to read that water is going to help you.
I think being able to read a topograph map probably puts me in more places than just reading the water. Being able to break it down.
Yeah. But you're still, I think, when you're looking at like a topo map and you think about like maybe the wind direction for the day, you always look at the wind, and that kind of tells you a little bit on how you're going to set up.
You're putting it all in, still playing current, wind, weather. Yeah, it all plays in. But being able to read those slight subtleties in those contour lines can put you right on the juice faster than going out there and casting. A 200 yard section that that drops there. So, and some of this new mapping is incredibly effective.
It really is.
Pretty good.
Even this time of year, starting just to the north, bank that's got it's north and it's got the south sun just beating on it all day long. I mean, can make a huge difference for somebody that's just out there looking for fish.
Mm-hmm.
That's
sure.
a monumental tip. Go write that down if you didn't know.
I've got Lime Scope. I've had it on my kayak for 2 years. I've used it in 2 events total in 2 years.
I think we used it in the swimming pool in Florida more than you used it in the tournament.
Yes, I don't like it in a tournament because you end up focusing on the head unit more than you do anything.
Yeah, I'm hearing that
So
more
you
and
feel
more.
like maybe you lose that awareness a little bit?
Yeah, I pre-fish with it.
Mm-hmm.
If I need to, especially on deeper lakes. Around here, like where I fish, me and Adam talked about this last week. I like my Live Scope. It's a fun toy. But I want to go. He's getting the Mega 360, and I think I'm gonna grab one as well for my
I've
big
been
boat.
running it for the last 2 tournaments. Florida and the Battle of the Brands here on Gunnersville. I just ran it, and it has changed the way I fish.
Yep.
Well, I think with 360 though, I mean, it's so. What I like about 360 is when you look down, you know that rock's over here, you know that rock's over there, that lay down's over here, and you're actually. I feel like you have direction when you make a cast, even more so maybe than with the live scope.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and it shows you when you're running down the bank just how much opportunities you've missed at targets that are on the opposite side of your boat.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a log. There's a brush pile. There's a rock. There's a school of fish. I mean, it's been incredible. Florida blew my mind. Okay, I was looking in the wrong spot the last couple.
Well, and I think, even like you get in a smaller 15, 20 feet wide creek or probably bigger than that, probably 30 feet creek. I mean, you see, you're mapping the entire bottom the entire time. And it's incredible what it does. I mean, it just gives you such a better picture of what's actually down there.
And then the first time you actually see a school of fish on it, like,
the rice, yeah. It's wild. What's the most interesting thing you've seen on the 360, just out of curiosity?
Gunnersville, I saw like a canoe, I'm pretty sure.
A canoe?
In like 10 foot of water, I swear it's a canoe. I don't know what it looked. It could have been a log, but it looked exactly like a canoe on the bottom.
Oh, that's cool.
Very much, very much. I like 360. I've been a fan of it. I have not put it on my kayak. I muted myself. I like 360. Not put it on my kayak. It's something that I kind of want to put it on there. I think if I'm going to make a move, and I think that's the one I'm going to go with. It'd be hard
I thought
to
it was going to offset the boat a little bit, but no, you don't even know it's there. And the best part is I don't have to use my hand and control it. You can just go down and just keep glancing at it every once in a while. It's made it different.
I feel like you could almost, if you wanted to, you could just lock your live scope on and just spin your freaking boat. Really, if you wanted to, you're in a kayak, so you could just technically spin your boat, set up on the fish, and then keep pointing at them.
Yeah, the side scan is amazing with the 360.
I have not done.
It changes it.
Yeah, so you can switch to side scan and use its head. Oh, it's awesome.
It's a lot clearer. It's a lot clearer and cleaner, I think, than the previous models. And then you've got the Mega, which even takes it even further on the Hummingbird unit for the 360. It's definitely a worthwhile investment for somebody that's on the fence. I think I would have to agree with you, man. I have to agree with you. You just get more pinpoint accuracy on where you're casting with the 360. Now, I think live teaches you some things, like when you get close with the trolling motor and you watch those fish that are suspended and they just drop to the bottom. I have seen that a few times on the live scope, and it's pretty wild. I mean, when you start studying the fish, and what they do is that sonar ping gets closer, that trolling motor gets a little bit closer. It's pretty incredible.
It is, but it makes the day go by so fast. I fished the Bassmaster on 4th last year, and I played with my live. It was I think it was my second event ever actually using it during an event. And I watched it until 11 o'clock, and I mean, literally, I thought it was like 2 hours. I looked up, it was 11. It was like, oh God, I got to get off this thing. And I just went to fishing, and I caught fish.
So you're saying it's like being on TikTok?
No, that's exactly it.
Going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's it. It was like
The
I
internet
looked up,
rabbit hole.
Dwayne Taft was wearing them out on the bank line. I'm out in trees playing around, going, "Holy Jesus! Did you see the size of this thing?" It's like, I mean, it was awesome. It's like I got to see some huge fish, but it's like it was trying to get it to work right, and then the wind, because I was in 20-mile-an-hour winds on Fork, which is not fun, and it was cold. It was just a bad day, but it was like, all right, I had a blast, but it was like that's not how I want to fish a tournament.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense, man. Rudy's back in the questions. Let's hear about that big fish that jumped off the measuring board. I don't know who
Me,
that. Who was that?
I've had one, and you've had one. You've had one too, haven't you?
I've had a couple.
I had a 2150 on at Nick and Jack at the FLW event. They would have tied big bass to the entire event, and it jumped off my board at 8 o'clock on day 2. I was ready to go back to the boat ramp. Oh, that sucked.
I haven't had one that affected my tournament standings. I did have a 20-inch at Bassmaster that I caught out of the mouth that took me out of the top 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I remember that one.
Because we were bed fishing, and I thought she ate it. Set the hook, got her in the side of the face, got her in, was like, oh, no.
Foul hooked.
So
as we move towards tournament season, new people always like to. I think the biggest struggle for anybody new to get in kayak fishing is putting the fish on the board. That's the scariest, most intimidating moment I think that anybody goes through when they first get into kayak fishing.
Because I think
tournaments.
everybody does it on their lap at first.
Yeah, that's actually my question. Lap or in the floor?
I do it on the floor, angled down. That way you get a little pressure on the face, net blocking the side, hanging off like my graph, and then hold on for dear life if it's small enough. So.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. That's very fair.
But if you're doing it on your lap, I feel you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose fish in my mind.
You will.
I would take the time to situate that board either long ways in your kayak and get the picture on the board. You're less likely to flop it.
And take a second and just dip your board.
Yes, 100%.
It doesn't take a whole lot, but just remembering that, especially on the bigger fish, that's you're so worked up you don't even think about it. You're just like you just want to get a picture.
Yeah,
it's like sitting on a hot car seat.
The other day, and they said they don't dip their board because they want it sticky so they can get that extra 1/4 inch off the tail. And I was like, kind of different perspective on it, even though
I figured
you're taking off some scales on that one. Though.
Yeah.
Just keep slapping it on the board a couple times on the wet one. It'll stick. It'll get that suction behind it.
And do the Kenwood finger in the butt. You're good to go.
Yes, exactly.
It actually works.
And I feel like too, when the board's been wherever we've got our board on the boat, and it's the dead heat of June, July, August, the boards get hot, and you put a board on a fish, it starts flopping. It's like sitting on a freaking hot leather car seat. I mean, think about how that feels, and you probably jump up a little bit too. So I think wetting that board down, cooling it down just a little bit probably does help in that aspect. Fish grips.
Yeah.
Or net.
Fish grips is, I started out with fish grips for like the first 3-4 years, and now I just carry a net. I don't use fish grips. I lost a 19 in Wisconsin on fish grips. So after that, I just put them in a net, just let them chill on the side of the boat.
Yep.
I'll wait.
23 on fish grips. I'll never use them again.
Did you really?
Now, I will use a donkey leash.
The donkey leash,
that one seems to work pretty good. I've never had an issue with that one, but I had a pair of fish grips, and I lost lots of fish off the side of the boat. The 23 was the only one in the tournament, and I about cried. So
yeah, I have a little set saying: if I think it's over 18, it doesn't go on a leash; it goes in a net.
Yeah.
So.
I haven't put one on a leash in a long time, probably 1.5 years now. I just use the.
I haven't either. I have them in my boat. They're still tied to my seat, but I don't use them.
So what do you think? What do you think would be an improvement to fish grips to make them hold on to the fish just a little bit better, especially those bigger ones?
I think all of them need to have some type of strap on the handles where you can cinch it down and Velcro. Even the donkey grip one. Even though I haven't lost a fish on it, I still worry every time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I mean, when you really come down to it, though, there's always going to be a little bit of a chance of them getting off. And I mean, sometimes, I mean, you can tighten it down as much as you wanted to, and they start freaking out, and something weird happens. They get off. So I just don't even take the chance anymore.
Yeah, I found myself getting a net with a deeper actual net in it too,
Yep.
so I can kind of fold the net over and still keep the fish in the water now.
Yeah. How like it's okay, so you've caught your fish, you've got it in the net, you're getting ready to measure it, you've got your board in the floor. How long do you let that fish chill out for somebody that's very new to the sport? How long do you let the fish chill before you set it on the board?
A minute or two.
Yeah, I usually grab it instantly, throw it on there because I'm too pumped up. I caught a fish. So
yeah, see, that's why Adam loses so many. But what I always tell the new people, take your time with it. Put the fish in the net, put it on a leash. It's not going anywhere for the most part. Get comfortable, get your board set, get your identifier ready to go, make sure it's where it needs to be. I even take my camera out and make sure that the app is open to where all I have to do is lift my phone and push a button.
Yep.
Get everything ready. Chill out, because the more stressed out you are, you're going to make a mistake.
Yeah, my phone actually dangles in between my legs on the rogue tether as I set everything up, and I just reach down, grab it, and click. It just covers it.
Yeah.
So everything's prep prior to the fish coming out.
Do you feel like when you look at a boat like what we've got with the NAR now and the higher sides, does that add comfort to you while you're measuring fish, knowing that sidewall is gunwale wall is just a little bit higher than say some of the other boats that we've had, like a Liska? It's got a low profile boat, so fish flips, it's going to fall off a little bit faster.
Plus, it allows your net to sit in there better, so it gives me a little more comfort with the higher gunnels.
Yeah, I like it a lot better.
Good to know. Good to know. I think that's really a really good tip. Biggest tip I think that any of us would give you is make sure that you take a picture of dead airspace in between.
In
between.
Fish catches. Use your finger. Well, now I do catch even in Hobie and stuff. I'll take the picture, but I find myself catch photo release every time now, and then I'll put my fingers in the photo, and then I'll dead space it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Especially if I'm waiting to get a limit. I usually don't upload till I have a limit, so that keeps the fish.
Yeah, that's how I'm. For the most part, I won't just submit one fish. Unless it's a giant or something, I'll wait till I have 3, 4 or something. Maybe if they're small, I'll wait till I have 5, and then I'll submit them. But one thing you need to remind people, one of the biggest things, and Adam Harbuck, old dude, taught me this a while back about putting the net at the end, right on the gunnel. So behind your board, it'll save your butt. I mean, it saved me from losing money a couple times.
Yeah, just putting it attaching it with a roto grip or something like that so it ain't moving around.
No, just hold it by your foot or use the board. Just set it up to where it's standing there. If the fish jumps off the board, it goes into the net.
It'll save you up north fishing smallmouth.
Oh, it will.
Let's see here. Trying to figure out the motor setup for a Blue Sky Boatworks. Any suggestions?
Actually, I would go with the XI5 on that one.
I would too.
XI5.
80 pound.
That way you got
80 pound thrust.
80 pound, or even go up to the I think it's a 110. That boat can completely handle that, and you could put as many batteries as you want on the Kayak.
It'd probably fly.
Oh, it will.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Jeremy says he submits every fish as he catches it. How do you guys feel about that?
Certain tournaments I do, certain tournaments I
Jeremy is a special ed kid. He eats crayons when he gets up in the morning. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that he does the things that he does.
If
We're
I'm in
just
big
happy.
water and the wind's ripping, I'm putting
Yeah.
every fish as fast as I can into Tourney X
Yeah.
or fishing chaos. If I'm in shallow water just fishing and I know I'm going to catch a bunch of fish, I'll hold off and just submit the bigs. So
Because
it all depends. Cell
you'll know
signal
if you.
also.
That's the biggest one. If you don't have any signal, you submit them as quick as you can get them.
As quick as you can get them, and then you stand there in your kayak with your arm in the air for 10 minutes. We've all been there.
Oh yeah.
They'll drain your phone if they just keep trying to submit. So you have to close
Yep.
it out so it doesn't drain your battery.
Yep. Now
No.
here's a good question. When you guys have got talking to the noob again, somebody that's just started out, and they're getting used to this whole process, catch, photo, release. Do you feel like it's almost better to hold off, don't submit your fish for a little bit, give yourself time, keep fishing, get used to this process, and don't over intimidate yourself by getting on your phone and looking at that leaderboard and adding drama to your day?
Yeah. So I only do. So if I'm submitting my first 5 fish, after that I will submit one every time because I don't want to have to. I don't want to lose a fish in the 20 fish you might catch on your day. So I just get my first 5. I upload those immediately, and then I will upload every upgrade after that. That way I don't my fish management. I don't lose 17 for 16 and 3/4. So because I've done that. I think everybody's probably screwed up and submitted the wrong fish a couple times.
Oh,
Well, and at that point, we know what we have to cull.
Yep.
So we know by the fish what we catch. So everyone after the first 5, you're going to submit. You'll know if it's good or not.
that's good.
Plus, I don't like some people. Some people will sandbag. Some people won't. Some people will say everyone will sandbag, but sometimes you don't get that 5th fish until 258.
Yeah.
But I think the scoreboard, the sponsors want to see it. The tournament directors want to see it. Everyone watching wants to see it. It's part of the excitement of actually. When you can't fish it, what are you doing? You're sitting on Tourney X or Fishing Chaos watching the standings go, wishing you were there. And when it's all zeros because everybody's holding on fish, you're like, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Here's a $1 million question: Tourney X or Fishing Chaos? Which do you prefer? Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No,
either one.
They both have different capabilities. They both do the job. I don't care if you're fishing Tourney X or if they're chaos. I'm still gonna come fish your trail. So
yeah,
doesn't matter.
I mean, there's things with each one that I like better than the other one, but at the end of the day, we're gonna use them.
Yep.
Yeah, if that's what the event's got and you want to go to it, you're going to use it.
If you want to put eye angle on there, I'll go fish it. I don't care. I'm just going to fish the tournament.
Yeah, I'm not going to be one of those people that, no, if it's not Tourney X, I'm not going to do it. If it's not Fishing Chaos, I'm not going to fish it. No,
I'm going to fish every trail. I'm going to use any app they want me to use. I'll even take pictures and show you at the boat ramp. I don't care.
Yep.
I miss those days a little bit, to be honest with you. Show your pictures off at the boat ramp.
I think the first year I fished DKA in North Carolina, we had one of those tournaments. I think it was a tournament champion, so it was smaller. But yeah, it was all done at the boat ramp. I was like, this is easy.
Yeah,
write it on a piece of paper and show a person like this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still like leaving with a stack of cash though.
Yeah,
that's always good.
If you were in the money, that's when they went through and looked at your pictures.
Yeah, 100%. Looked at timestamps, looked at everything, checked them out real close, and that was always good stuff. And stack of cash at the end of the derb. Action camera setups with Rudy. Do you guys run action cameras all day in a tournament?
So I do run it all day in a tournament, and that's just to cover me on if somebody wants to say, well, hey, I don't think you caught that fish there. Like, well, I got 8 hours of footage you can go stare at. I use a fisheye, but it's sitting in the bottom of Florida right now on one of the lakes.
Oh, you lost it?
Yeah, one of the cypress just took it off my boat for me. So lost all the tournament footage, lost everything. But I do.
That sucks.
I do run a camera during a tournament all 8 hours, and that's just if somebody wants to challenge it, I have it. That's all.
Yeah.
I think that's great advice.
And plus, you get some pretty cool shots, so you can put it on your social media. Really, it's just to cover the bases if somebody wants to challenge it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, especially in kayak fishing, where you guys don't have a marshal or somebody out there following you around. Jeremy says he will sell you a Tacticam.
Oh, that's what I have, Tacticam fish out.
Oh, I've got two of them. I haven't.
So I got another one, so I'm covered. I just didn't put it back on because I was like, I'm not losing that freaking camera down here.
Yeah, I have 2 Tacticams. I've got 2 GoPros. I use them every now and then, but honestly, you hit a point where it's like, what else am I going to put on a boat? Because especially with the kayaks, you have to rig everything and take it all back down. I want to make sure my fishing stuff is right. Cameras are my
last thing. It's always the last thing I put on, and I forget to turn it on 50% of the time.
That's it. I always forget to take it out of the truck.
And I'm not going to take any time to check on it while I'm fishing. So it goes off, whatever it's off. Like, I'm not going to spend 30 seconds to check my. I'm not going to
check your camera. Yeah.
Look, in the morning I take off, and if I don't get it, well, then I don't get it.
Yeah. That's good for me. I'm usually the same way. I've usually always got a camera, and there's days that I put it on the boat and I never turn it on. A lot.
Yeah, you don't realize how much you talk to yourself like a weirdo on the water until you watch your videos too.
P-brakes are always good too.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I forgot to take that off of there. Huh?
Nah. I don't think I've ever uploaded that part of it, but yeah, I mean, you're always talking to yourself while you're out there. I think coaching yourself through every event.
Pretty entertaining. I look back at some of them like, did I say that? Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. That's how I usually am. Oh, yep, I said that.
Yeah, it happens to everybody. I think if you're going to put a camera on your boat, then you're in for a show. You're in for, and then you look at it and you go, man, that looks stupid.
I think as we continue to grow, it's going to lead to that where you're going to have a camera on your boat recording all the hours if it continues to get bigger.
Yeah, I think that'll be good for like the battery companies, because like Yak Power because they
I remember what was it called? Jamie, were you on the 5 Live?
Yes, I was on the 5 Live.
Yeah,
I was on the very first one. I was the very first season.
That if there's ever like an actual series where you put your money in at the beginning and you run 9 tournaments a year, and those 50 guys and gals are your boaters, you'll have to have something like the 5 Live where it's live on camera all the time.
Yep.
That's neat.
It'd be pretty cool with 50 kayakers on the water with live camera.
Well, one thing for the Pan American Games that we had last in December, we actually filmed there was no pictures at all. You had to film it from putting it on the board to release, and then submit that. That was interesting.
I can imagine.
That's pretty cool.
You should have. All
Did
us
you
Americans
just send it
going
directly to the TD then?
Yeah.
Okay.
We all had bad cell phone service. Everybody else had no problems. They were submitting the whole videos, but we had to submit it directly to the tournament director. And you should have seen us whining like little girls when it first started. It was like, we didn't.
Sounds like a good sponsorship space for Snapchat to come into the fishing world.
Yes, it's like, we didn't know what to do. We're like, we got a video, but once we did it, we're like, this is easy.
Yeah,
it's not so bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was different.
So another question from Jeremy. What do you guys think about what's going on with the KFL, which I don't have a clue what he's talking about because I don't pay a bit of attention to the KFL. So go. Anybody know?
So the KFL. So I'm on a KFL team. We're waiting here. We were. I guess KFL is no longer going to be this season. Somebody or some group might be taking over the KFL. I don't know. I think we're all kind of waiting to see what happens.
Behind the buoys. Yes.
So,
So.
well, so that's gone then.
So, yeah, KFL ran by Greg Nozar is gone. KFL still
Disbanded.
happening, may or may not happen. I think everyone kind of wants to know. There's lots of teams dropping out. It's just it's an unknown right now for play.
Yeah, it was a weird situation. I think you guys spent a lot of money for KFL, and there wasn't much return with some of the stuff that I gathered from just talking to different people and different
Yeah.
things. But
I think
what
75% of it just wanted to fish as a team because it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Right.
You could talk to people on the water, and you're sharing information. It was pretty neat how fast you can get on fish.
Yeah, it kind of changes the dynamic, gives it something
Mm-hmm.
a little bit different. You guys gonna fish the JK Trail, USA Bass and JK Trail? Where you going? You gonna fish it?
I will fish a couple of the Kentucky events.
There you go. No lean. No lean, and what was it? Rough River in your neck of the woods.
No lean and rough. Yeah, they're about an hour and a half away. I've never fished them. I might run up there just to dive in on a couple.
They're good lakes. You'll have a lot of fun. You're gonna catch a lot of fish.
We're co-hosting. I'm on the board for Northeast Texas, and Lance McWhorter's he's going to run 2 events with us.
Yep.
Simultaneously, so that'll be good. And he's got Southeast Texas, Northeast Texas, so he's spreading it out a little bit. I really want to hit the one on Lake Worth and Eagle Mountain. That one's going to be money.
Wasn't that fun last time?
Yes, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was money.
That was the only time
points.
Everybody at the house took home check.
We all took home checks.
250 points, and we'll see you
different
guys
waters.
at the Classic.
What's that?
I said 250 points, and we'll see you guys at the JK Classic.
Yeah, that's kind of
the
the goal
thing.
to get up there, 250. So
250's.
Considering I live on Kentucky Lake Barkley, so right, it's 100 yards.
You'll be there anyway. You'll be at
the
Classic anyway, hanging out. Let's see. Jeremy says, let's do it. Lance says the Eagle tournament was insane. Yeah, that's pretty much all the comments. Well, fellas, we've made it about an hour. I don't know who we educated or what we educated about, but we got on the radio and we talked for a little bit tonight. And that's all that matters. People got some fishing, and hopefully everybody's getting ready to do some fishing here real soon, just in a few weeks. So as we close this thing out, I'm going to let you guys tell people where to find you on the social medias, and then thank any sponsorship that you guys want to thank. Jamie, you can go first.
Find me on Facebook, which everybody here is. Instagram, Jamie Broad Fishing. You can find me. I mean, I don't have any YouTube, anything like that. I'm old, so yeah, I'm just stuck on the Facebook, really.
We know.
Shut up. Yeah, I mean, Dakota Lithium Catch Jackson is one of my biggest, and I love being on that team. It's great to hang out with people like you guys. So I mean, Fish USA has been real good to me. I mean, Yak Attack, Crotalus Rods. Me and Adam are both on that team. Rob takes really good care of us and builds us all our rods. So yeah, if it wasn't for these guys, we wouldn't be where we're at. And without these companies, yeah, we'd still be doing the normal bank fishing and everything else.
About you, Adam, what do you got?
So Adam Petrone fishing at Instagram and my Facebook page. Sponsors, got to thank Jackson. I pretty much have the same sponsor for Jamie now that he said it. The Dakota Lithium, Jackson Kayak for sure. I love their boats. Love being part of this team. Crotos Custom Rods, like you said, that rod is amazing. I carry way too many of them on my boat, and I'm getting more in a couple of weeks. Rogue Fishing, get you a phone tether, save your tournament. One Objective, love their mounts. Their 360 mount is awesome, simple, love it. It's probably the best decision I made for that 360 so far. And then, of course, their bow mount stuff is super simple to install. Yak Attack for sure. I think there's not one kayak angler that doesn't have some sort of Yak Attack on. There's just
I guarantee it.
Yeah. So 95% that lead. So,
Yep.
but yeah, we couldn't do without them. So I appreciate all their support. Looking forward to the 2023 season for sure. Looking forward to get down to Florida here. I only get 1 day of pre-fishing, but it's got a job.
There you go. And as always, thanks to Jackson Kayak. We got a whole bunch of new accessories out. JacksonKayak.com. Check those new accessories out. Check out the Coosa X. Check out the NAR. Check out the Coosa FD, the Take 2, all the fun boats we got at Jackson Kayak. And if you're feeling frosty, get you a whitewater boat. Lastly, Orion coolers, never lose your cool, inspired by the outdoors. Also pick those up, JacksonKayak.com, with, again, a boatload of cool, fancy, flawless looking accessories that make coolers even cooler. So with that said, we will see you guys on the next one. Remember to check this episode and other episodes out every Tuesday on Spotify, Google Podcast, whatever else there is, except for Apple, because I ain't smart enough to make that negotiation. But anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Bye.